Sega.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another exciting installment of the Summer Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog was created. Let me get my notes out here. No time for that now. Sonic the Hedgehog was created primarily developed by Sonic Team and published for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 in 2006. This game serves as a reboot of the Sonic franchise, and after several incidents involving development, such as co-creator Yuji Naka leaving the company to form his own company, and the team being split to work on the Wii game, Sonic and the Secret Rings, although that was supposed to be an intended Wii port, but Microsoft Windows and Wii ports got cancelled as a result. At least official port. Sonic and the Secret Rings was the closest thing to it, and the Wii port, and interestingly, let me look here. No. Sorry if I'm a little, sorry about that. It's just that, you see, for this I am utilizing the Game Capture HD, the original Game Capture HD for this, and interestingly, the port that looks like the Game Capture HD is essentially a type of S-video port. Yes, it's a type of S-video, the 7-pin mini DIN, which the 3 extra sockets I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, may be used to supply composites, CVP, BS, and RGB or YPBPR. YPBPR is also component. So yes, I'm utilizing essentially a interesting type of component for this game, because this was a special design cable developed by Elgato for the Elgato Game Capture HD, as to compensate to help bypass the HDCP protection of the PS3. Interestingly, when I put in, the PlayStation 3 input device came back on, which wasn't present in like HD60S, or I don't even think the HD60, but only for this because this was made. But being the HD Game Capture HD, it runs 1080p 30, and the reason why I turned down the volume was actually because, you see, another reason why I'm not going to be commentating, just adding to the reasons why I'm not going to be doing a commentary, what's new, is that because this is a USB 2.0 on a USB 3.0 port, I did a test run, and it does record the video. Actually, for the most part, it's actually good, just that there there's this lag behind. Like, it's not so much. How do I describe it? It's like it's a second or so behind what's going on the TV. So, and I'm honestly surprised there's actual playback. I did not know the Game Capture HD could do actual playback, albeit still 1080p 30 frames per second. But I'm not too worried about that. I have something to make it 60 frames per second. Footage-wise, but I'm still gonna leave in the raw footage of 1080p 30. All things considered, I can see why this was canceled in development, but all things considered, I think if this goes well, I think it actually is a type of capture card that actually can hold up rather well. I mean, Elgato honestly made the effort of making a cable for the PS3 so people could play and capture from the PS3. Interestingly, there's also an adapter of sorts they made for it that's like the YPBPR, which is YPBPR is the analog version of component is the analog version of the YCBCR color space, and I'm just looking, and YCBCR is intended for digital video. But needless to say, I'm actually capturing from the analog, as I've always been, but this time, unlike previously, I'm purely capturing from analog instead of having to convert the analog signal into digital so the game capture can recognize it. I've been essentially using an upscaler converter to do this footage, but I actually bought a set of component cables before this, but turns out it still worked, but this setting, all things considered, is actually more optimal. Plus, it also works with the PS2. If I get a PS2, I can do some PS2 games, so it's not all of a loss. But anyway, getting back to the Sonic thing, apparently Sonic the Hedgehog, there was an unofficial port of this game for Microsoft Windows, powered by Unity, which development began in 2005, and a demo was released in 2015, and was released, and a demo released in 2017. So someone was doing something. Yes, I'm just looking at like other things. Anyway, yeah. So needless to say, what is about this game? Well, this game, of all the Sonic games, there are games that some people might more personally hate. Some people might more personally hate Shadow the Hedgehog. Some people might hate more personally Sonic Boom. But overall, this game, in terms of overall spectrum, in my opinion, this game probably gets more hate than any other Sonic game. Often referred to as one of the worst Sonic games ever, and even sometimes the worst game of all time, so far to say. This game has been panned rather hard, to say the least. But it should be well, I don't know if it should be noted, but even though it was rushed, this game was meant to serve as a reboot. Like, it was supposed to reinvent Sonic, like putting him on the next-gen systems, like the PS3. This is the PS3 version. Why the PS3 version? Well, I don't have an Xbox 360 at the moment, so yeah, that's actually as simple as that. I would play the Xbox 360 version, maybe to see a comparison, but anyway, to say the least. But needless to say, this game pretty much got a whole helping of pretty much of hate. In pre-release showings, it was actually rather well received in like the demos and pre-release, it was well received, but once the once it was published in 2006, it was pretty, to say the least, it was kind of it it didn't go as well as people hoped. To say the least, one of the things that happened was, even though it was commercially successful, that doesn't mean it was probably one of the reasons why it was so commercially successful was because it was of all the hype about this game, which didn't help anymore, involving, the game getting rather panned, to say the least. It didn't help of the game getting kind of panned. But wait a minute. For crying out.